Brought to you by the American Bowling Congress and the Women's International Bowling Congress, providing championship service to sanctioned leagues across the United States. Make sure your league is sanctioned by the national governing bodies. By Lynn Shoes. For the performance approach, it's American-made Lynn Shoes, the choice of bowlers worldwide. By Contour Power Grips, the pioneers of the finger grip industry. More pros choose Contour Power Grips. You should too. And by Brunswick. Bowling is sold on Brunswick worldwide. And there you see the two gentlemen who will start off for their teams. Mike Baskett for ringing 10. Pat Healy Jr. for Ebonite Omegas. Pat Healy Jr., bowling sales rep who lives in Niagara Falls, New York. The 94 U.S. Amateur Champion. Recently won the AMF World Cup in Brazil at last November. He starts it off and does it in fine fashion.
Yes, he does. And this is a team that's going to be very enjoyable to watch. It's loaded with talent as opposed to the Ringing 10 Pro Shop. We don't know much about these guys.
Well, as I mentioned, they're all from Texas. And Mike Baskett leads it off for them, 33 years old. This fellow's a youth minister, graduate of Abilene Christian. Lives in Sweetwater, Texas. The left-hander.
Through the nose, only the 247. Not too bad. Shouldn't be that difficult to spare for him. He's a pretty good spare shooter. I've been watching these guys all afternoon, Jay, and I was impressed with how they clung to that third spot. They got up in there and they just fought and clawed and stayed in there against some very, very talented teams. So they do have the ability to play with these guys, no question.
Every man on this Ringing 10 Pro Shop team making his first appearance in the World Team Challenge. Picks up the spare.
Not only their first appearance, Jay, but their first time on television anywhere.
That's right. That's
anywhere.
correct. And here is their lineup presented by Contour Power Grips. They're pioneers, of course, in the finger grip industry. More pros choose the Contour Power Grips, and you should too. Bob Goyke. Got to hurry. All right, Goyke.
Oh, my. Well, that got a smile out of Bob.
Don't forget, Earl, we've got the $25,000 perfect game bonus presented by the sponsors of the Brunswick World Team Challenge.
It's only been done once.
You're looking now at Ty Cook. Cook is an assistant manager at a bowling center, the Whitewood Lanes in Abilene, Texas.
Got a break
fellas
there.
have got to be a little nervous. Here's that starting lineup presented by Contour Power Grips for the Ringing 10 Pro Shop. Baskett, Cook, Pomeroy, White, and Graham. Earl, it's been cold outside, as I mentioned, and a little cold inside from the standpoint of spares. They've been a little tough to make on occasion.
Well, it's been tough to get the ball in the pocket to begin with because the lane condition is such that the ball is really hooking hard in the back. So what happens is if you can't get the ball really into the pocket area with any consistency, you not only do you have spares that are hard to make, but you know, that's what happens. You end up leaving stuff that it's almost impossible to make, so your spare percentages go down.
Steve Klemkin, 25-year-old pro shop owner, lives in Wichita, Kansas.
Look at here.
Wow.
Look at
here. He'll take it.
Well, when things are going your way, they're going your way. This is another look at that shot. Watch what happens to the head pin. It goes straight back, but see the 2-pin come across? That's what took out the 6-pin. The 2-pin came straight across, took out the 6, and that was a look how big his eyes are. He's thinking 4-6, and instead they tripped the 6.
Now it's Lance Pomeroy, and Pomeroy is a designer of mechanical seals, 32 years of age, from Odessa.
It's kind of interesting. The guy that put this Ringing 10 Pro Shop team together and who actually owns the Ringing 10 Pro Shop, Thomas Holt, the 1994 American Bowling Congress All Events champion, is sitting it out, Jay. He said, I'm not playing as good as these guys. I'm going to let them play it.
Uh-oh. There is our first mistake.
The Ebonite Omegas team is as I mentioned when we started, one of the finest groups of players you're ever going to see, and John Gaines fits right in with that mold. He's a great player.
Big John, 28 years of age, a pro shop owner, lives in Baltimore. Big, strong guy. His 7th World Team Challenge TV appearance.
Look how smooth he is for a big guy. Look how much ball he's got. Yeah, they just tripped that 6-pin through the nose and they throw a good shot. That's kind of like revenge. The bowling gods get even in a hurry in this sport. 10-pin. John's an excellent spare shooter. He's going to switch bowling balls here. He'll use as much of the lane as he possibly can, and he'll throw it hard and straight right at the 10.
This team was first in the Baltimore qualifier in '95. Picks it up.
Well, a little daylight there. At least they didn't continue to strike, and that's got to be what Ringing 10 Pro Shop's saying. Well, at least they stopped striking.
Robbie White is from Abilene. He's a part owner of a moving company there, JJ's Moving and Storage, 31 years old. Got them all.
He did a lot of that today in the match play, Jay. I was watching this team play because I didn't know many of these players, and it looked like they were going to make the telecast. So I wanted to get an idea of how they play. And here's a look at his ball rolling up into the pocket area, and he did that many times during the match play.
Here's a man who holds the record for TV appearances at the World Team Challenge events. This is Chris Barnes' 13th television appearance.
Isn't that amazing?
They're all down.
Isn't he amazing?
Barnes now the assistant coach at Wichita State University, his alma mater.
Here's another look at that. Watch how far this ball goes to the right. Clear out about to the 5 board and all the way back. And this is on a lot of oil. There's a lot of oil out there near the channel. You get it out in that area, that's out of bounds for almost everybody else in the show.
Eddie Graham, bowling center proprietor from Midland, the Basin Lanes. Lubbock, Midland, Odessa area, of course, out in the Great Permian Basin. We'll return with more from Fort Worth right after these messages. Randolph here in Fort Worth. The Omega's up by 22. Pat Healy Jr. 4 gold medals for this gentleman in the '95 Pan American Games.
Now he got it out in that area that Chris Barnes got it out to and got it back, and Pat's ball didn't quite make it back. It's really hard to determine who might be the best amateur player in the world. Now, this is just my opinion, but I think it's between these two guys, Chris Barnes and Pat Healy. And it would be hard to find someone else that could match their ability, maybe a Michael Newman, someone like that. But there aren't very many guys, and this is a tough spare for anybody, even someone with this ability, because the middle of the lane, remember, it's really hooking hard. Wants to get both pins with the ball. Just like that.
And he did it. Nicely done. Mike Baskett. Mike was a World Cup national finalist in 1995. League average of 233. Really enjoyed visiting with him.
He's a classy guy, nice guy.
Yeah, does some wonderful work with the youngsters.
Pretty good bowler too,
And
huh?
I'll tell you, the left-hander is on target.
Take another look at the style here, and you can see what he's done. Right between the second and third arrow, trying to keep it on line, and he's doing something a little different. He's using only his little finger and the ring finger to lift the ball, and he says because otherwise he's what you might call a cranker, and this way he can keep the ball on line, doesn't hook it as much.
Bob Goyke will be inducted into the ABC Hall of Fame in March in Salt Lake City. And the strike for Goyke, 42 years old, the veteran.
Take a look at that big, strong, powerful style of Bob Goyke, and this is what made him a Hall of Famer, just like that. See the head pin take out that 8-pin? Huh? Kind of sneaky there, just with the top of it.
Here's Ty Cook.
Short backswing, but still develops tremendous ball speed.
The Ringing 10 Pro Shop from Lubbock. They swept their first 3 matches in match play. They ended up 7-3 in match play.
Most of these players, you'll notice they'll switch bowling balls, go to something that's hard-shelled and smooth that'll slide for them. You don't have to throw a lot of hook or a big ball, a strong ball to knock down a one-pin spare. Just got to hit it.
13-pin lead for Ebonite Megas.
Well, it looked a little dark back there in the third frame after that open for the ringing 10 pro shot, but they came back strong with that three-bagger. So 2 games, total pins. They determine the winner of this match, and they'll go on to play the Nitro R's, the boys that have never lost here.
Steve Klemkin. Klemkin, another in a long line of accomplished players at Wichita State University. He was a member of the 94 and 93 National Collegiate Champions.
Baby split, the 3-10. Now the idea here, of course, is to go cross lane, fit the ball between the 3 and the 10, hit the 3-pin on the right side and let it deflect back into the 10-pin. Another great spare shooter here. We play this right around the 3rd, 4th arrow area. See him in the middle of the lane. There you go. Oh, he got it on the wrong side. Never had a chance. Shakes his head.
Shooting spares 71% this week here. Klemkin.
Those spare shooting statistics are going to take a real beating this week because, as I mentioned, the spares that are left are generally very difficult.
Here's Pomeroy. He was open before, you may remember.
Missed the 10-pin. He's got to hurry. Yeah, look at that.
It got there. Big smile. And the lead now 2.
Everything's new for this team, this ringing 10 pro shop team. As we take a look at this last shot, he got it out there about the 7 board, brought it all the way back, and hit him thin, watch him spin, as Mr. Walu used to say. Remember Big Billy?
Billy Walu, one of the greats. John Gaines. That got there too quickly for him.
Well, all of a sudden the Ebonite Omegas are starting to feel it a little bit. This ringing 10 pro shop team is just kind of hanging in there, and they're just waiting for him to come back, and here they come back to him. Another look at John Gaines' ball going right through the middle of the head pin, and this is makeable. With the ball speed he can develop, he can bounce him out of the back, and he just yanked it and missed it all almost.
Oh, he's got to be a little disappointed with that.
Well, I'll tell you what, no matter what happens in this, as far as this ringing 10 pro shop team, if they can get by this team here, they've really accomplished something, whether they win the championship match or not, because I really honestly feel that the Omega team is one of the finest, strongest teams you'll ever see.
Well, that one was out of bounds and wouldn't come back for Robbie White. How about these lane patterns? The same. They're
everywhere we go.
Everywhere we go.
Everywhere the world team is, challenge.
Fair and square.
It's fair and square. Everybody gets. You know what's going to be there before you get there. So if you're not prepared, that's your own fault. The American Bowling Congress puts out basically the same shot. Bert Kellerman comes walking in here and says, "This is what we got, and this is what you're going to play with." PBA lane machine.
Good job there by White. Well, now it is ringing 10, up by 13, and Chris Barnes will be coming up.
Chris Barnes is going to be better on the left lane than the right lane because he's playing so far in the middle of the lane that the ball return actually gets in his way when he's on the right-hand lane. So on the left lane, he's got more room to get there. He's sliding almost in a left-hand channel, and he'll have, it's going to carry. Oh, he missed it. Wow. When he plays on the right-hand lane, you're going to really see something different. Actually, in the match play early on this afternoon, he was standing in front of the ball return.
Ebonite Omegas were 8-2 in match play. 75% spare shooting. As you mentioned, Earl, the spare shooting down a bit here.
Well, the spares he was shooting at were some that are pretty hard to make. When he missed the pocket, he'd usually end up with something that was just a terrible conglomeration of pins standing all over the pin deck, so they're tough to make.
Barnes, certainly at age 25, one of the most accomplished and experienced bowlers for that age anywhere in the world.
Well, that's one of the reasons he's helping coach the Wichita State team, because of that experience, and he can bring that back and pass it on to these young collegiates. And
continuing a tremendous tradition there. Eddie Graham. Coach Vatican has done just a sensational job there in Wichita with the Wheat Shockers.
Look out.
Ooh, almost got them all on the Brooklyn side.
Almost got the Joyzy Squasher. All right, the 10-pin. Here's another look at that shot. And this is called the Joyzy Squasher. When you get it high Brooklyn like that and they kind of push each other down like that.
You can see the look. Whoa, it didn't go.
Well, he's happy, believe me, just to leave the 10-pin. Easy spare, good cover.
Ring and 10 Pro Shop. They seem very relaxed, Earl, considering it's their first television appearance. And
I'd like to be able to take their pulses and check their blood pressure.
You figure maybe maybe it's not looking as smooth as they might. I mean, they're not feeling as smooth as it looks at this point.
Well, they've got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
You know, we're not knocking their talent. We're just talking about their lack of experience.
That's right. All right, well, it is ringing 10, winning 203 to 193. Game 1, our second game coming up right after. Back at Don Carter Lane Southwest in Fort Worth, Texas, we move to Game 2 of this first match. The winner to face Ebonite Nitro R's for the championship. And Mike Baskett, who has been perfect so far, ready to get it going.
Well, I think the Reign 10 Pro Shop team had better get it going early this game because the the Ebonite Omega team sitting on the bench 10 pins down has probably, in my opinion at least, been looking past this team to the championship match thinking, hey, you know, that's the guys we really got to beat to win this thing. Now they're going to have to get back into it. They better shoot a game right here to hang on to these guys.
High game. Showplace Lanes of Austin. 11:51, and the Ebonite Omegas. Richard Lee Riley of Bedford, Texas, 289 with Dan Stray of Austin. Here's Pat Healy Jr. Boy.
You told me earlier it was 260.
You see the spares in match play, 78% for the Ebonite Omegas. Ebonite, the qualifying average of 204.4. Their Baker system average at 195.6. Healy is open here. John Harper of Houston, high series of 274. Stray at 704. Furpo, 692. Qualifying average of 220 for Pat Stinnett. Pat Healy Jr. at 218.
Joe Furpo, next touring player.
Down in Lake Worth, Florida. Here for the Austin PBA stop. Nice going.
Well, I'll tell you what, the pressure has to be felt a little bit by this Ebonite Omega team because they probably thought they could get past this team without a lot of sweat. Just get out there and make some good shots and get it on and play the Nitro R's for the championship. But it doesn't look that way right now.
Bob Goyke has it on the way, and he gets them all. Great pin action there.
Very quickly, let me give you an idea as you look at the scoreboard, the plus 31 by the Ring 10 Pro Shop, of what the format was and is every week for the World Team Challenge. We had 88 teams entered. 85 of them could make it through the ice and snow that Jay mentioned. Of those 85 teams, they all bowled 6 regular team games. The top 10 then qualified for match play based on total pinfall. They bowled 10 two-game matches in the Baker system with bonus pins, 15 if you win a game, 20 more if you win the two-game total pin match. You carried your pinfall over right on into the match play, and then everybody that had the top pinfall at the end of those 10 matches, the top 3 teams you see qualified for television right now.
Pomeroy got a bad break on that last ball.
He did, because it would not only would have given him the strike, but kept the string going for his team, which is so important right now. Spares are so important. Hang on. Oh, my.
Oh, my. Now, that's the second time that he's done that in this
Second time. He's hit the pocket 3 times and got 1 strike and 2 10-pins and missed them both.
Steve Klemkin, a couple of gold medals in the 91 FIQ World Championship. The gold medal at the 91 Pan American Games.
Concentration. Look at his eyes. Watch how steady his head is to the foul line. Nothing moves. Everything stays right where it belongs. Good balance. Great release. And that's the result.
A big strike for Klemkin, and we'll return to Fort Worth with more of the action. Gains with the spare, ringing 10 Pro Shop up by 10. Here's Eddie Graham.
And if it comes down to the anchorman, which it so often does, it'll be Eddie Graham and Chris Barnes to finish it out. Got to get lucky.
Oh, my.
Well, that's not so bad. He ended up with the 1-3. It could have been a lot worse.
Could have, the way that ball was turning left.
Take a look at the expression on his face when he turns around here, and this is like, wow, where did that come from? He almost missed everything, Jay.
I'll tell you.
Watch this. Oh, my, he says. I don't even want to turn around and face my teammates. Tough spare, believe it or not. A lot of ways to chop this. Oh, great shot.
And here is Barnes.
Eddie Graham is a regional professional, by the way.
See where Barnes stands here.
Well, he was warming up.
Himself.
Warming up, he was just standing next to the ball return. In match play, when the lanes were hooking a little more, he was standing in front of the ball return to get even farther left with his feet. And watch him walk around the ball return. A little bit to the left here. Give himself more room. Look at it hook. My.
He is a talented bowler.
Yes, he is. We're going to look at the style here of Chris Barnes and watch the arm swing and everything that goes with it. This is tremendous talent. Here's a good look at it. Watch how free the swing is. He just lets it go. Look at the shoulder, nice and relaxed. A little more higher than I would expect, but it's still, he's in good position right there. That's where it counts, right there. He gets everything back together, and he gets what they call out there, that he gets all of his hand into it. That's why he gets all that back end.
Well, that is the first problem that Baskett has had.
Well, he gave up on that one. As soon as he let go, he just kind of said, oh, no, I knew I didn't have a chance with that. You see him turn around there in the corner of the screen? He knew when he got it wide to the second arrow that it was going to stay there. It wasn't going to hook back. Shouldn't be that tough a spare for him. He's just going to cross it over the head pin, stand on the strike area, and just play maybe a board inside of his target and let the ball hook to the right of the head pin.
Now he will sit on the bench, and all he can do is watch.
Only 2 chances to help. This is 2 games, total pins to decide the winner. And it gets more and more nerve-wracking as you get closer and closer to the end.
19 for 38 in the strike department during match play for Pat Healy Jr.
Really like this game. One of the finest games you'll see. Great fundamentals. Steady head, good arm swing, great balance at the foul line, all the things that are necessary to make the good shots.
And that was a good one. Absolutely. A strike for Healy, and we'll return to Fort Worth with more bowling action. The Brunswick World Team Challenge continues. Bob Goyke, he gets the strike here after Ty Cook had the spare, but on that ball apparently he hurt his hand. Look at that.
Yeah, I think in pain. It's his wrist from the looks of it. He's still running it out. That's your typical avid bowler. He's still going to look for the strike, but he's showing his teammates what happened there, and we haven't had a chance to ask him.
Evanite Omega's up by 17. Pomeroy.
Well, if they can get by this ringing 10 Pro Shop team, and they're going to need Bob Goyke pretty badly against that Nitro R team.
And he's been throwing the ball extremely well today.
Yeah, you can see there's still some pain in his face, and he's not real happy. He's not comfortable right now. He's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in March.
Yes, I mentioned that in Salt Lake City.
You're going to be there?
I don't think I will be.
You don't think you will?
No, I'll be at spring training with the Florida Marlins.
I think I'm going to go this year and cheer the boys on at the Hall of Fame.
Well, I would like to be there, but duty calls.
All right, we're running out of frames, and the Omegas are on 3 in a row here.
Klemkin. It's his 10th appearance.
But his strike percentage this week is not anywhere near his normal ratio.
No, he's been struggling.
Oh, what a camera angle that was. I thought that was coming right into the living room there. How about that? Makes you want to duck, get out of the way. Here's another look at it. He got it out there in no man's land and that out of bounds area. And what that is just there's oil out there. The ball's just not going to hook back from there. This could be an equalizing frame. If he were not to make this puts the Ringing 10 Pro Shop team right back in the match. He lost a lot of count just getting 6 pins down, and this is a tough spare. He wants to get it to the left side of the head pin, let the ball just go right on down the line and take out every pin. Got to hurry. No, didn't get it to left far enough. Here we go.
A bit of an opening.
How many times are we going to see this? This is only a 2-pin match, Jay.
Yep.
It's going to come down to the 10th frame. That's what makes the World Team Challenge so exciting. The Baker system format and how close the matches almost invariably end up being.
Robbie White, just 2 pins difference in this match. Oh yes, a big strike for White.
Boy, that loads up the 10th frame. Puts it in Eddie Graham's pocket because this is only a 2-pin match, and I'll tell you what, it's going to come down to the anchor man, as it almost always does. And now the pressure right here, if there is any pressure, can be felt by John Gaines. He's got to feel a little bit of it now. He needs to load it up for Chris to give him the chance to win this. Needs a strike. Oh my. How quickly it can change. Look at Chris Barnes sitting on the bench. And if anybody has the confidence in this situation, Chris Barnes is one of the more confident young men you'll ever see. He truly believes in his ability, and he's proven in the past how well he can play. The 2 anchormen sitting together, both contemplating what's going to be necessary in the 10th frame. They need a spare. What a great shot.
Oh, outstanding. He almost ran over our cameraman spinning out of there.
Now to look at it, just enough of that 3-pin to get the ball to deflect into the 10, and you can see how happy he is. That's a pretty good vertical leap for a guy that's about 6'4" and 240, huh?
Yes, it is. And now Eddie Graham.
He needs this first strike.
Right.
A chance to take the lead. Oh, he rolled it well.
Hey, yes. Got the kickback.
He almost ran over Pat Healy running that one out. Here's another look at it. Watch the head pin. The pin in the front goes all the way to the wall, comes all the way back across the lane, kicks out the 10. Now there's the pin action. His reaction as he runs off the lane. Watch out, Pat Healy. Here it comes. Right hand, right to the jaw.
A big strike for Graham.
Everything he does, Chris Barnes has to do in the 10th.
That's right.
Another good shot. My.
A Ringing 10 Pro Shop team. Eddie Graham finishing it up in fine fashion to this point.
Well, that is a winner right there.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've seen some weird things happen.
Yeah, but I like his chances.
I like his chances, too.
He's checking the score right now. He wants to know exactly where they stand, and that's what he's asking. How much do I need to make sure we're a winner?
They're asking for a re-rack here.
Oh, the 7 pin's missing. I used to like to bowl when there was no 7 pin because
I guess
being a left-hander, it was always kind of nice.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he needs.
Does he need a 7?
Well, what he needs, if he's trying to get a strike. There's no question. The first thought in his mind is you can't be cautious. Be aggressive. Go out and get the strike. You don't have to worry about it. If he strikes, they have 412. The most his opponent can get is 404. So he just needs a decent count somewhere.
All right, he's got
I
all
think
the
he's going to
pins down
stay
there.
right where he's been, right in his strike line, make a good shot. Just like that. He's got enough right there.
Got them all.
That's it.
Wow, what a finish. Ringing 10 Pro Shops. Their first appearance on television for this fivesome, and they defeat the Ebonite Omegas. How about that? And nothing Barnes can do but just finish it up. And while he's doing that, we will show you our other finishers. Storm Vice Grips of Wichita, Kansas, 4th. 5th place, the True Color 2 team from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Vice Grip Storm, Colorado Springs, Colorado. Who's the fella in the middle there?
Big Gary Dickinson, yes. Look at these guys. A lot of guys we know here, Jay.
Euless, Texas, Showplace Masters finishing 8th. 9th place, Pro Shop Systems of Dallas. And in 10th, the Showplace Lanes 2, Austin, Texas. Final score of this first match. A big victory for Ringing 10 Pro Shops. They'll be facing the Ebonite Nitros around the bowling world coming up after.
Now it's time to go around the bowling world. Brought to you by the High Roller Tournament at the Showboat Hotel in Las Vegas. 1996 is an Olympic year. This year is even more exceptional as the United States will serve as host country for this Olympiad's Summer Games in Atlanta, Georgia. Around the Bowling World visited with Jerry Koenig, president of the Fédération Internationale des Quilles, bowling's world governing body, to discuss bowling's Olympic movement and international plans.
We should be an Olympic sport. We have all of the qualifications for an Olympic sport, and probably the major qualification is our popularity throughout the world. More than 100 million bowlers. We have more than 90, actually 91 member federations at the present time. We have an exciting sport when it's played at the elite level, and we have the ability, although it hasn't been shown very much to the IOC people so far, to generate that excitement with television popularity worldwide, and also to garner audiences. As just one small example, we can have an arena-style setting, as a lot of the tournaments have been conducted in the past year or two in the Olympics. It could be just something fantastic for the Olympic sport. I think that bowling is going to gain its true recognition by the year 2000. That's a goal that I think we should set. We have a sport that's not been highly regarded on a competitive level. I think that's primarily our fault, because we've said in our sport that this is a very easy thing to do. It's recreational, and that's true. But the fact of the matter is that on a different level, we have a sport that's every bit as competitive as anything else. You go to the beach, and you see a lot of bathers, but how many people really think in terms of swimming as a sport with those people that are on the beach? They think of those athletes that are diving in the water. What I'd like to see, and I believe can happen for our sport, is that image in the minds of the world about our sport. Athletes competing at the very highest level.
Around the Bowling World has been brought to you by the High Roller Tournaments. Call 800-257-6179 for information on how to enter.
We'll return with Ringing 10 Pro Shops, who qualified 3rd, going up against Ebonite Nitro R's for the championship. Well, here we go. From the Don Carter All-Star Lane Southwest in Fort Worth, the championship match. Mike Bassett, the leadoff man for the Ringing 10 Pro Shops, who have also sprung an upset here with their defeat of the Ebonite Omegas, 412 to 379.
Only the 3-5, not that tough a spare for him. Not a bad way to start. Didn't get himself in trouble early here. Looks pretty calm and relaxed, doesn't he, Jay?
Yeah, very nice gentleman.
That machine is recycled, so what we have to do is wait for the mechanic to spot the 3-5 spare. So meanwhile, we're going to stand here and do
Give you some stats. How's about that?
I like that.
Match play records, we talked about those. Now you see that the Ebonite Nitro team was 5-5 in match play.
So they can be beat, Jay.
Yes, sir. It's an interesting stat compared with the Ringing 10. There are the regular and the Baker qualifying averages. Tell you about some upcoming events, of course, as we continue on our merry way. We're sold out in Indianapolis, sold out in Tacoma, Washington. World Team Challenge, looking forward to those 2 stops in February and March.
That's home for me, Jay.
Yeah.
Up there in Tacoma.
See a lot of your old friends there. Cheektowaga, New York, the Buffalo area in March. And right outside of Detroit, Belleville, Michigan. And we have these mechanical problems right now as we remind you about some ladies events that are coming up in Indianapolis and in Concord, California. And we'll return right after we take time out. There's the hotline number, 414-423-3387, for information on entering the Brunswick World Away. Basket got a spare, Billy Murphy a spare, then Cook with a strike, and Paul Fleming with a spare, and ringing 10 up by 1 as we head into the 3rd frame. Ted Rogers there, our production stage manager, associate producer, birthday boy, and shot clock operator, does it all.
43 years old today. How about that?
Once the property of the Los Angeles Lakers.
That's right.
Now the property of the ABC.
The American Bowling Congress now owns him body and soul. Huh?
Yes, indeed. All right, here's Lance Pomeroy. Big guy from Odessa. Oh, and a big problem.
He's had a tough day.
Yeah.
He's made some good shots, missed some easy spares, missed a 10-pin twice, and now he's got some tough doing to do here. This is makeable, by the way, but I tell you what, it's makeable the hard way. You've got to go shoot at the 4 pins, try to slide it into the group of 3 on the right. That's how you pick it up. He's going to go for the count, which is the smart thing to do, but if you wanted to pick it up, you'd go the other way.
And the Contour Power Grip starting lineup, brought to you by Contour Power Grips, the pioneers in the finger grip industry. Murphy, Fleming, Swanson, Waliczek, and Murphy.
They've never lost here, Jay. This is their 3rd year on the telecast, and they're 2 for 2 so far. They're the defending champions the last 2 years.
Sean Swanson. Swanson, who lives in Springfield, Missouri, his 7th World Team Challenge TV appearance. We've got a Texan on here, a fellow who lives in Missouri, and 3 fellows who live in Kansas. And of course, this ringing 10 Pro Shop, an all-Texas team, first time on television, and they're the fan favorites here.
Well, you'd think the Nitro R team would be the heavy favorite in this match, but the ringing 10 Pro Shop has already proven they can be giant killers by winning the opening match against the Ebonite Omega team.
Right, and we ought to mention, of course, and reassess the fact that the Ebonite Nitro R's, the 94 Grand Champions of the World Team Challenge. They were 3rd in the 95 Grand Championship, and they're trying to three-peat here in Fort Worth as they won the last 2 years.
You got 2 brothers and a cousin on this team, and this is the cousin, by the way.
Lonnie Waliczek, 24 years old. Wow, how about that?
Yeah. Kind of a casual, relaxed thank you. I'll take it. Look on Lonnie's face. You see another look at that shot. Ball crosses. Tell you, the way the lanes have been hooking, if you get any part of the head pin and it's going left, you got a chance to get a strike. Here was the hero of that opening match, Jay.
Yes, Eddie Graham, 30 years old. Eddie is from Midland.
I like his game. He does roll it well. Only the 4 pin. A little bit high in the head pin.
$29,000 prize fund here, with the 3rd largest field ever, as we mentioned, for a World Team Challenge event. Here in Cowtown, as they...
Cowtown?
Yeah, it's one of Fort Worth's nicknames. They've got the rodeo going on. They're sold out here, and a mistake by Graham. It's tough to make a mistake like that against a team experienced as the Ebonite Nitros.
Now, this is 5 young lions who can all throw it very hard, and they're very good spare shooters. They very seldom are going to beat themselves, so you don't want to make mistakes and give them openings because they'll jump all over you.
Chad Murphy gets the strike. This again, of course, a reminder, 2-game match. Mike Basket
You know, the guy that put this team together right here, this Ringing 10 Pro Shop team, the owner of Ringing 10 Pro Shop, Tom Holt, is sitting it out. He was the ABC All Events champion back in 1994. His wife is a rookie on the LPBA tour, Ladies Professional Tour, LPBT. I can't even say it, Jay.
You got it, though.
Is that close, right? Ladies Professional Bowlers Tour. How's that? I can say it that way.
Very good.
She's a rookie, and she's looking forward to a good career, and Tom's really helping her along with her bowling equipment and such.
Well, Holt still sitting it out, even though Pomeroy has struggled somewhat. Benny Friedman, our old friend, the executive director of the Fort Worth Bowling Association. A wonderful group of fellows from the association helping out as volunteers here throughout this event. Thank them very, very much. There's a number of those fellows sitting in the audience.
Look at that, Brunswick World Team Challenge on their chest there.
Yes,
I like
sir.
that.
A little bit of a problem for Billy Murphy.
Nothing he can't handle, though, Jay. He'll just zing it down there about 85 miles an hour and pick up the 3-6.
Billy, another product of the Wichita State University program, three-time collegiate All-American.
You want to see one get there in a hurry, watch this. Very strong young man.
We'll return with more of this championship match from the Don Carter Lane Southwest in Fort Worth right after these messages. And that was Ty Cook leading the 10.
Ty, one of two regional professional members on this team, and again, we mentioned earlier on that this team has absolutely no television experience, so they're doing extremely well. Experience being such a big factor in the World Team Challenge. The more you play, the more you learn, the better you get, the better you perform under these trying circumstances, and those are the kind of mistakes that winners don't make. You can't afford to give away one-pin spares. And that's two already in this game.
They upset Ebonite Omegas for 12 to 379 in our first match. Paul Fleming, member of the 90 University of Nebraska National Championship team.
That's something on the bottom of his shoe there. One of the players on his team noticed.
Fleming now lives in Euless, Texas. Pro shop operator there. 91 U.S. Amateur champion. Member of Team USA in 92.
Well, he's not real proud of that shot, but he loves the result. Here's another look at it. He just got it down early. The ball was going left almost immediately off his hand. Just a crossover tickler. Got the head pin to do all that damage on the right-hand side, and that makes that team happy.
Trying for the three-peat. Up to now, they've been pretty lucky. Pomeroy, who has struggled.
Easy spare, only the 8-pin, and where he's been shooting the 10-pin, that's just about where the 9-pin. Where he's been shooting the 10-pin, that's about where the ball's been going. So shouldn't have any problem with this one, Jay.
Well, he was only 9 for 13 on match play. Of course, he has had some problems today.
He might miss this one on the right, thinking it's going to hook. So let's see what he does. Got it.
Right
Way
on
to go.
target.
Okay. This Nitro R team, a very talented team, as I mentioned before, and they've played together so much, Jay. They know each other's games so well that they know that when one of them has made a bad shot or whether he's made a good shot, and how to adjust to the varying lane conditions on the other player's games. And that's a big advantage. If you know how a ball reacts coming off the hand of one of your compadres, you might say, then you know how to adjust based on how his ball reacted on the surface, and you can really, really save some frames that way.
Robbie White for Ringing 10.
He had a good day today in match play. He really threw a lot of strikes, and he was in the clutch. He was very strong.
And that's a strong shot there. Waliczek. 1989 Chuck Hall, Star of Tomorrow. Chuck, the American Junior Bowling Congress leader for a long, long time, retired a few years ago.
That ball just hit so hard when it did get to the pocket area, just a little bit high in the head pin, but everything on the left side of the lane just went up and over the top of the 4-7. Their team on a double into that shot and going at a 225 pace. It's going to be awful hard for the ringing 10 team to get back into it. Earlier this year when we were down in Florida in January, Chuck Hall came over to visit us at the World Team Challenge.
Over in St. Petersburg, right now the lead is 61 by the Ebonite Nitro R's.
Big lead, it sounds like, but believe me, if you've ever watched the World Team Challenge before, you realize how quickly fortunes can change when they switch lanes. 2 games, total pins to decide the championship, but they switch lanes after each game.
Graham has the strike. That was much needed.
Definitely needed. They still have a chance to go out for 184, and who knows what's going to happen in the 10th frame for Ebonite R. This is a big ball. Every strike he can get is 10 less pins they have to pick up next game. He was so strong when they needed.
Who could want it there? He really did come through in fine fashion.
Well, their 4th and 5th bowlers have been tough all day. These 2 guys, the lefty and this young man right here.
He is putting a little bit of hope back into the minds of his teammates right here, I'm sure.
No question. If he'd have got up there and got made an open or even a spare, it could have been somewhere in that 60 or 70 pin deficit. It's tough to pick up. Now, they're only like 40-something behind with a chance to maybe get some more if Mr. Murphy doesn't perform in the 10th frame for Nitro R.
Well, the big smile from Graham, and Murphy even congratulating Graham there. Now we'll see what Chad Murphy can do. Chad is living in Wichita, Kansas these days.
There we go. We got us a match, folks.
Yep. It can change, as Earl said, very quickly. That's part of the excitement.
He hasn't got this spare
chemistry
yet.
of this Baker system.
You never know what's going to happen in the World Team Challenge. Oh boy. That wasn't exactly the way he played that, but he did make it, and that's what counts. Pin count, always important. Get as many as you can. And as usually happens, these guys experienced, they were paying a lot of attention to ball reaction for the Ringing 10 Pro Shop team on the left-hand lane, so they're very much aware what that lane is like.
And he picks up the strike. So it is 223 to 184, a 39-pin lead. We'll be back with Game 2 to the final game of this championship match. Billy Murphy will lead off. We've had a change for Ringing 10. We were talking about Thomas Holt. And there is Holt. He has been inserted into the lineup. He'll take over for Lance Pomeroy.
He's the team captain, but the amazing thing is, Jay, is not amazing, but it's very important, is that we've been watching him, and even in practice, it's been over 20 minutes since he's thrown a ball. So it's going to be interesting to see how he can perform just coming cold, you might say.
Saw Pomeroy there on the left. He's out. And Holt is in.
All right, for the 2-4-5, not an easy spare to start this game. And he barely picked it up. That's what that ball speed will do for you, though. It doesn't let the ball run away.
He really gets it down there quickly. Contour Power Grips will show you now our new lineup. Contour, pioneers in the finger grip industry, and you see Thomas Holt inserted there in the 3 slot.
All right, they picked up 22 pins in the 10th frame of that last game. Now it's time to make a move, and they need to throw a few strikes.
Bassett, the leadoff man for the Ringing 10 Pro Shop. Oh boy, boy, that 7-pin.
Well, it was a great shot.
Yeah, it was a
great
wonderful
opening shot. Well done. Now, the important thing is another look at that. Right between the second and third arrow. Good rotation on the ball. Remember, I told you about how he lifts it with only his ring finger and his little finger rather than using the power that you get out of the middle 2 fingers. And the reason for that, he doesn't want to get all that hook on the back. He wants to control the ball better. Cross lane at the 7-pin. He'll flatten this out and throw it pretty hard and straight. See him looking down, make sure his hand's in the right position. There you go.
Paul Fleming.
This Nitro R team, as we mentioned, and I think it's worth mentioning again, were the World Team Challenge Grand Champions just a couple of years ago, Jay, and that experience, know-how, have to be a big advantage in this situation, don't you think?
Yes, no question about that. Fleming let that ball get a little away from him. He got a Brooklyn strike last time, but
tough spare here.
This is not easy.
3-9. He wants to get both pins with the ball on the right-hand side of that 3-pin with the ball, let it carry back into the 9. Just like that. Oh, look out. Oh, my.
Close.
That ball really hooked hard in the back, and he takes a deep breath and says, thank you very much. I'm glad that's over with.
Here is Ty Cook.
I think the Ebonite Nitro team has been very fortunate so far. Their first 2 bowlers had tough spares, and they picked them up. But both times they picked them up barely, just enough to get them down. Okay, the 1-2-4. Now, this is not an easy spare. As we talked about earlier, spare shooting has been difficult all week, especially anything in the middle of the lane. If you can't throw it extremely hard to keep the ball on line, the ball tends to overhook on you, so you have to be careful. He wants to get this just to the left of the head pin, let it just roll down, take out the 2-4. You can't ease up. You've got to throw it hard. Like that. There it goes. It hooks away if you don't get all that speed you need.
Cook with this mistake, and the Ebonite Nitro R's with Swanson getting set. The lead is 51.
Well, he rolled that one well. Didn't get it back, though. The washout. Here we go. The pin count again, and isn't it amazing how they find ways to tighten these matches up, folks? It's almost like, well, we don't want to get too far ahead.
No. and it's not like we planned this.
That's right. All right, the washout. The 1-2-4-10. Hit it on the left side of the head pin. Let the head pin take out the 10. See how he does. Remember, they're hooking very hard in the middle of the lane. Oh, he missed the whole building.
Oh, boy.
Missed the whole building there.
My, oh, my. Very disappointing.
Well, that's an opportunity for Ringing 10 Pro Shop to really get back in this match. That's 41 in the third for the Ebonite Nitro R's. The Ringing 10 Pro Shop yet to bowl in the third, and here's Thomas Holt, first try.
This is going to be interesting. The owner of the Ringing 10 Pro Shop, 94 ABC All Events champion.
Oh, he threw it well, extremely well when you consider how long it's been since he's rolled the ball. This might even be tougher, Jay.
The spare, right?
The spare.
Exactly.
These guys are so grooved into throwing their strike ball, but sometimes spares are a little more difficult. The 10-pin, cross lane, he switched bowling balls. He's relaxed the wrist.
Just put himself in the lineup, and he needs it, and he got it.
I was a little nervous there, just watching that one myself.
Pomeroy, who stepped out to make room for him, congratulating him. The lead now 34.
And we've got a match. This is close. 34 pins, nothing in this format. And remember, you can only help your team twice each game.
Lonnie Waliczek.
Lonnie looks kind of serious here. I mean, look at those eyes. That's concentration. You got all of it.
Oh, outstanding. Here are the fellows that have to do it. Now Robbie White,
Yep,
Ringing 10.
Their fourth and fifth place bowlers have done it all day, and Robbie White's the guy that sets it up for the anchor man. looks kind of familiar. He just keeps knocking them down, Jay.
We've seen that before. Chad Murphy.
It'd be interesting to see how Chad's ball reacts. We've had some strange reactions on the left-hand lane from the Nitro R team. No one really is comfortable over there yet. And again, they're light. They've had the washout. They've been the crossover, just about a little bit of everything. Got away with it. Only the 2-pin. Pretty easy spare for Chad. Throw this about 80 miles an hour at it.
There's Graham looking on. The anchor man for ringing 10.
I believe he has been the man of the hour today. He's the one that's kept he struck out in the 10th frame of that opening match to put him in this position to bowl for the championship, and he did it again in the first game here.
Well, we've talked about White setting him up, of course, and then Graham coming through.
This could be just a huge strike at this point. Oh, he rolled it well. Rolled it really well. Hey, how about that?
We'll return with more exciting action right after this. Lead of 37, Murphy with the spare, and then Mike Baskett left the 6-8 and ended up open. So we're going to the wire right here. Here's Fleming. A little high.
Well, they've had some breaks. Nitro R has been pretty fortunate. They've had the ball all over the lane on the left-hand lane there, and ended up with some easy spares. Haven't made very many mistakes as far as spare shooting goes, but they've left some tough spares. This one an easy one, only the 3-pin. Whereas the great shot there, the 6-8, was a killer. It was right in the pocket area where you want it. Mike Baskett, and they were on a double, and that was really a hurter.
Ty Cook. Cook was open last time.
Well, they need him to help. They really need to get it going, and they're running out of frames. 4 frames to play in this championship match, 2 games, total pins, and they have to start now. They can't waste any more shots. Gotta hurry.
Got out there and it just wouldn't return.
Oh, he's completely confused. He doesn't really have any idea what the lane's going to do ball reaction-wise. And here's another look at it. You can see the ball is just between the 3rd and 4th arrow and going right, and never does have the rotation to get back to the pocket area. And this, not that difficult to spare if you can just keep the ball speed up. Remember, he missed it last time. A little better shot.
Now we move back over to Swanson.
Swanson's a good player. He could set it up for his anchor people too. And this is, again, both teams looking to get some help here in these late frames before it's too late. Even with a big lead, you don't want to mess around too much.
Oh, boy. Well, he'll take that and be very glad to have it.
Well, that's been kind of the key shot throughout the tournament, and especially for the Nitro R team. They've carried a lot of these, and this is another one. And what a great time to get it as far as they're concerned, and not really what the Ringing 10 Pro Shop team wanted to see. Again, the team captain.
Thomas Holt.
Where has he been? Huh?
Well, they might be second guessing the whole situation here, because Holt, of course, could have had the opportunity to do more for this team.
Well, actually, Lance Pomeroy, who did start in this position, bowled fairly well. He just missed some easy spares. He hit the pocket early on. He missed a couple of 10 pins that he left on good pocket shots. Maybe that's the difference there. Tom Holt, watching him in practice, watching him throw the ball in the pocket. Tom couldn't get the ball in the pocket, but the experience is such a major thing. And again, he's the ABC All Events champion from 1994. I think I'd had him in there.
Waliczek.
Oh, here we go. Now we got a match again.
Oh, my.
How quickly it can turn around. Remember, Tom Holt got the key strike. Right now, you got to look at that as the key shot of this match, the strike in the 8th frame. Here he comes in as the substitute off the bench, gets the strike they really needed. And now remember, their left-hander coming up, their big left-hander, can make it happen for him. If he can strike, if Robbie White can get the strike in the 9th, then it'll be all up again to the big anchorman, Eddie Graham, to finish it off, which he's already done twice.
We saw Graham a moment ago looking up at the scoreboard. Now here is White. He desperately hopes that he can set up his anchorman.
Oh boy, they really needed that one. That's the first time he's really never gotten the ball back to the pocket. He's hit light several times, but he always had enough back end to get it done. This ball just never ever does get a good reaction. It just goes into the roll almost end over end and stays there, and he's got a tough spare. The 3-5-6 for the left-hander, and remember the middle of the lane is a hooking part of the lane, and if he doesn't pick this up, the match is basically over.
Got to have this spare.
Great cover.
All right. With a little bit of experience that they have, this Ringing 10 Pro Shop has hung in very well.
Well, a mark here would do the job, and Chad's making a ball change. He's going to take something hard that he can keep in the pocket area. Talking it over with his teammates. What do you guys think? Just get up there and throw it, Chad. That's what they're saying. You've been here before. You know how to do this. Remember, this team is undefeated in this bowling center. This is their third championship if they win this one in a row here. Hard and straight, right at it. Look at here, folks.
Oh, what a big break. My, it looked like he had a real problem, but he got it.
Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. If he does not knock that down and say he gets 9 out, it'd be 154 this game for a total of 77. 377 for the two games, and 92 and 76 would be 376. That would have been kind of close. 84 and 92, 376.
Yes, indeed. Well, this is a very
the match is over.
Happy bunch, of course, as they have three-peated here in Fort Worth.
Three-peat. Michael Jordan came in as a sub, did he? Or?
No.
Oh.
But certainly they have had great success here. This, of course, was our 94 Grand Champion team. They win for the third consecutive year here in Fort Worth. And this Ringing 10 Pro Shop, they deserve a lot of credit. And certainly Eddie Graham, who is bowled anchor for them, done such a splendid job.
Be interesting to know what's going on in the minds of the team when you consider that the problems they had with Lance in there, and then Thomas Holt came in and made things happen for him.
We'd like to see this team. I think, again, they're bowling here in Fort Worth, but we haven't seen them around the country very often. Hopefully maybe they'll have a chance to enter another World Team Challenge qualifier, have another shot at the trip.
They've proven they have the ability, Jay. There's no question.
Yes, I've been very impressed with them, and certainly impressed with Eddie Graham. An outstanding performance, 6 in a row now for him.
Yeah, well, remember in that opening match, he's the guy that made it happen for him in the 10th frame, and now again at the end of the first game here, and again now. It's just he's been phenomenal. I like his style. He's got great form, good roll on the ball, and he keeps it in the pocket area.
Well, the Ringing 10 Pro Shop team trying to come from third to win it all doesn't get the job done. Ebonite Nitro R winning here for the third time and headed for the Grand Championship. We'll be back in just a Bowling Challenge is brought to you by Brunswick. Bowling is sold on Brunswick worldwide. By Lynn Shoes. For the performance approach, it's American-made Lynn Shoes, the choice of top professionals and amateurs alike. By ABC MasterCard. Get a grip on your finances with the ABC MasterCard. By Keepsake, designer and manufacturer of Championship Ring Awards. By DBA Products, the industry leader in lane maintenance equipment. By Avis Rent-A-Car, the official car rental agency of the American Bowling Congress. And by the American Bowling Congress and the Women's International Bowling Congress, providing championship service to sanctioned leagues across the United States. Make sure your league is sanctioned by the national governing bodies. There are the winners. Ebonite Nitro R's advancing to the Grand Championship in Louisiana with a big victory here in Fort Worth, the three-peat. And here, first of all, is Joseph Haynes, who is the ABC field rep to present the plaque.
Chad, congratulations to you guys. Sponsors plaque, and good luck in New Orleans. Take care.
It's good to have Kathy LaCroix, the manager of the Don Carter Lanes. Thanks for all your help here this week.
We've really enjoyed it. Congratulations, Nitro R's again. Please, Don Carter, New Orleans, be our next champions. You did last time.
All right. And finally, Benny Friedman, the executive director of the Fort Worth Bowling Association, to pass out the Lynch jackets.
Chad, congratulations on your fine showing this weekend. And on behalf of Lynn Shoes and the American Bowling Congress, I have a jacket for each one of you, and good luck in the championship roll-off. Thanks, Ben.
Benny, thanks to your association for all the help this week. Thank you very much. Chad, I think we have to give a lot of credit to that group of guys from Texas, all Texans, and they were tough.
Yeah, they bowled that first match great. They finished it out. You know, it was just unbelievable finish there, and we just barely held them off.
I know that it's not easy to win once, not easy to win twice. Now the three-peat and back to the Grand Championship, maybe for your second Grand Championship.
Yeah, we got a little unfinished business there. Hopefully we can get it done. We'd like to thank Bill Supper and Ebonite and Dave Bernhardt at Turbo 2-in-1 Grips. They've been great to us, and they've helped us out. Thanks to Cat LaCroix and Don Carter Southwest. Everybody's great. Thanks.
Well, you fellas will have a little time to get ready for Louisiana. Good luck to you.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, they're your champions, and they're headed to the Grand Championship in Louisiana.